The Deduction Prevention System, how to stop losing money before it leaves your account. You're not losing money because you're failing. You're losing money because the system is designed to take it from you, unless you know how to prevent it. If there's one area that consistently blindsides founders, it's deductions. You know the feeling. A check comes in far lower than expected, a long list of adjustments with vague codes, charges you've never heard of, promotions billed incorrectly, freight charges that don't match agreements, admin fees that appear out of nowhere, compliance penalties that feel arbitrary, short shipments you knew were never short, chargebacks for promotions you didn't authorize, claims that sit unresolved for months. Deductions are stressful, confusing, and expensive. But here's the truth almost nobody in the industry will say clearly. Most deductions are not problems. They are symptoms of missing systems. And more importantly, most deductions are 100% preventable. Founders think deductions happen after the sale, but the smartest brands know deductions begin months earlier in your systems, your paperwork, your pricing architecture, your promotional agreements, your forecasting, your communication, and your execution. This isn't just a small brand problem. Big brands struggle with this as well. Early in my career while working for Unilever, one of the largest companies on the planet at the time, I spent countless hours chasing and working to resolve deductions. My boss said that I was paid to sell and to ignore deductions. They were already factored in as a cost of doing business. I then learned that some third-party companies that manage deductions for retailers are incentivized on what they collect, knowing that some brands will pay even if the deduction is invalid. Let that sink in a moment. In case you're thinking that you've got this covered because you pay someone else to manage your deductions, think again. That is an expense you could avoid if the deduction never occurs. That is cash flow that you lose control of until the deduction is resolved. The people managing your deductions will also struggle same as you. This is true even if they use AI. Today, I'm going to show you how to build a deduction prevention system that stops margin leakage before it starts. Promotions magnify this problem, but deductions happen even in the absence of promotions. But first, let me share a story with you that taught me, in painful detail, why prevention is the only real solution. The story. The brand that paid $42,000 in deductions they didn't owe, but couldn't prove. A founder called me after receiving a deduction statement that made her sick. They were billed for promotions they didn't authorize, for discounts deeper than the agreement, for back-end fees never discussed, for freight discrepancies, for late delivery penalties on shipments delivered early. Total, $42,000. She thought, this must be wrong, I'll dispute it. But she couldn't. Why? Because the promotion agreements were incomplete. Emails weren't saved. No formal approval trail existed. SKUs weren't clearly listed, and some were missing. Pricing floors weren't documented. Distributor communication wasn't centralized. Forecasts didn't align with orders. Their broker didn't have a scorecard to manage their promotion. No deduction tracker existed. So, even though she was right, she couldn't prove that she was right. Retailers and distributors defaulted to, without proper documentation, the deduction stands. And the louder you scream, the more it damages your relationship with the retailer, the same retailer you've been working hard to cultivate. Once we implemented a deduction prevention system, retailer deductions dropped 40%, distributor deductions dropped 60%, promo deductions dropped 70%, and her cash flow stabilized. She now had the funds to innovate and build her brand. This episode will give you that same system. Why deductions happen? This is part of the New Items Essential system. Most deductions come from 5 places. Number 1, sloppy or incomplete promotion agreements. Number 2, incorrect pricing and vague promotion and allowance dates. Number 3, poor forecasting and inconsistent shipments leading to out of stocks. Number 4, misaligned communication between brand, broker, distributor, and the retailer. Number 5, lack of documentation and prevention audits. Deductions are the result of operational drift, not bad luck. Your deduction prevention system must integrate, number 1, your pricing architecture, when the promoted price begins and ends, the specific dates. Number 2, your promotion architecture, including when the retailer should start building inventory to support the promotion by individual store. Each store needs to be properly forecasted for the duration of the promotion. Number 3, your promotion scorecard, detailing who's responsible for exactly what and when. This must include all relevant communications. This includes merchandising, who's responsible for what, and when will it be executed. Number 4, how the promotion will be tracked. Always pay on scan. exactly what's scanned through the register during the promotion window. Number 5, what happens to the excess inventory at the end of the promotion? How will it be managed and or returned? When you forecast accurately, you dramatically reduce any out of stock and overstock. That efficiency results in significant cost savings. We'll go deeper into that on future podcast episodes. Number 6, your pre-store checklist. Communicate any and all relevant information. For example, when the store can expect your merchandiser, where the specific shipper will be when the merchandiser comes in, where will it be placed in the store, who's responsible for keeping it stocked, and how will it be removed. If you're shipping additional product to the store, make certain that each store expects it, including the receiving manager. You do not want any shipments denied. Don't overlook anything. Number 7, your KPIs. Exactly what are the guardrails for each individual promotion? This needs to be spelled out in detail. Doing this right ensures flawless execution at every store. Detailed KPIs should be created and given to everyone in your sales funnel. I go into KPIs more on another podcast. Any missed or vague steps can result in deductions. All of these live inside the New Item Essential framework and in this week's free download at the end of the episode. The best way to manage deductions is to prevent and minimize them through flawless execution. When they're aligned, deductions shrink dramatically. Let's walk through the 5 pillars of your deduction prevention system. Strategy number 1, build ironclad promotion agreements. Deductions aren't random, they're systematic. You're not losing money because you failed. You're losing it because of missing systems. This is the single greatest cause of unnecessary deductions in early stage brands. Retailers assume that if it's not in writing, it doesn't exist. You must treat every promotion agreement like a legal document. Your agreements must include exact start and end dates, SKU level specificity, promotion depth by UPC, expected case counts, what to expect to sell during the event and after, display requirements by store, execution expectations every step in the process, signage requirements, backstock expectations to be received in every store, who pays for what happens when out of stocks occur, how do you plan to manage them, and what is your commitment to the retailer, and how do you plan to communicate any issues, pricing integrity requirements, terms for unauthorized deductions, a way to organize all promotion communication and documentation. If any of this is missing, you will get deductions you cannot dispute. Action step this week. Audit your last 6 promotions. Check for missing details, assumptions, vague language, incomplete SKUs, missing signatures. You will immediately see patterns of preventable deductions. Strategy number 2. Control pricing integrity across every system. Pricing drift, the silent margin killer. If you don't audit quarterly, your pricing is already wrong. One of the silent killers of margin is pricing drift. Most founders don't know. Distributors often maintain multiple pricing tables. Promotion pricing sometimes overwrites base pricing. Old pricing gets reactivated accidentally. Regional warehouses use different pricing. Pack size changes break pricing logic. Cost updates don't sync across every platform. Pricing can sometimes vary dramatically by store. Promoted pricing doesn't always get turned on and off as expected in your agreements. This creates incorrect invoices, incorrect retailer charges, incorrect promo building, cascading deductions. Pricing integrity must be part of your prevention system. Your system must include quarterly pricing audits, written communication of all updates, cross-check across all warehouses, pricing floors, retailer and distributor scorecard pricing. Action step this week. Pull 3 months of invoices from each distributor warehouse. Look for number 1, mismatched pricing. Number 2, mismatched pack sizes. Number 3, unexplained variability. You'll be shocked by what you find. Using this exact playbook, I was able to renegotiate menu fees with a national retailer, saving us a lot of money. Strategy number 3, forecast with enough precision to prevent operational deductions. Forecasting prevents deductions. Most warehouse penalties come from predictable forecasting errors. Operational deductions include short shipments, late shipments, back orders, substitutions, spoilage, product not being rotated properly or stored properly, warehouse penalties, unable to fill penalties. These aren't retailer deductions. These are system deductions caused by poor forecasting, poor communication, product variability, seasonal swings, mismatch inventory builds. Forecasting is not guesswork. Forecasting is margin protection. Your model should include baseline velocity, ACV by item and retailer, seasonality, promotion lift, distributor threshold logic, lead times, production capacity, real-time adjustments, and most importantly, how your shoppers buy your product. Action steps this week. Forecast the next 90 days using number 1, expected distribution, number 2, expected promotion lift, number 3, expected backstock needed by every individual store. Share it proactively with your distributor and broker. You will prevent dozens of future deductions. This will also reduce out-of-stocks and frustrated shoppers. Strategy number 4, use scorecards to create accountability and documentation. Your promotion forms are costing you thousands. Incomplete agreements equal deductions you can't dispute. Scorecards centralize agreements, responsibilities, deadlines, metrics, performance discrepancies, and communication. They become your proof when deductions arise. Your scorecard should track pricing accuracy, promotion execution, order fill rate, out-of-stock rates, voids, deduction frequency, lead time compliance, communication timeline. Why this works? Distributors and brokers behave differently when they know their performance is being documented monthly. This also helps you build trust with your retail partners. Action steps this week. Add a deduction prevention column to your existing scorecard. This makes drift visible before it becomes expensive. Strategy number 5, centralize all documentation. If you can't prove it, you can't resolve it. If you can't prove it, you can't keep the money. Documentation is your strongest deduction prevention tool. The most preventable deduction losses occur because the brand has no organized documentation. You need a central repository for promotion agreements, pricing agreements, email communication, audits, forecasts, delivery confirmations, deduction disputes, settlement tracking. Anything else that is tied to your daily sales as well as your promotions. Why this works? Deductions become easy to dispute when your documentation is complete, your dates are clear, your agreements are unambiguous, your scorecard aligns with the dispute, your emails support your claim. You have supporting documentation for every step in the process. Clarity and accuracy matters. Retailers and distributors respond to clarity. Action steps this week. Create a shared folder called Deduction Prevention Hub. Add subfolders for pricing, promotion, deductions, distributor communication, audits, forecasts, everything goes in there. This creates the paper trail that wins disputes. Recap the Deduction Prevention System. To stop margin loss, you must integrate, number 1, Ironclad promotional agreements. Number 2, pricing integrity across all systems. Number 3, forecasting as margin protection. Number 4, scorecards for accountability. Number 5, centralized documentation and audit systems. When you master these 5 disciplines, deductions shrink, cash flow stabilizes, retailers' trust improves, distributors' drift decreases, promotion ROI increases, forecasting becomes more accurate, margin becomes more predictable, your entire business becomes calmer. Your goal is not to fight deductions, your goal is to prevent them from ever happening. This is how big brands do it, and now you have the same advantage. In closing, to help you go deeper in effective deduction management, this week's free guide by the same name and the show notes are on the podcast webpage. Listen to the end, learn how you can get it instantly. There's also a link to a course by the same name should you need additional help. This is part of the New Item Essential system. Next week, we'll help you prepare to maximize your time at Expo. Trade shows are expensive, but there are simple things that you can do to maximize your ROI and make the important connections to support you well into the future. Until then, subscribe and follow the show. Visit retailsolve.com for more brand building tools and advice. Connect with me on LinkedIn. Share this with a founder drowning in deductions and send me your last deduction statement that you received. I'll tell you what to do to avoid that in the future. Deductions don't need to drain your runway. Your systems can stop them before they even start.